Warning, warning, warning. The following live broadcast may contain loud, obnoxious, shrill, and alarming noises that might be considered disturbing. Something like that, if not outright uncomfortable to listen to, especially if you are wearing headphones. I share my office space with an African gray parrot and two parakeets, and I have no control over their behavior while I am live streaming, unlike my regular videos where I can have the opportunity to edit them out as best as I can. If you are sensitive to loud, surprising background noises, I recommend either not turning your volume up too loud or watching my edited, pre-recorded videos instead, which there's a lot of on this channel, even though I really do have to get back to making more. Like I say that each time, right? Eventually I'll get to it. Viewer discretion is advised. Poof. There we go. Okay, awkward turn. So, hello everybody. So here we are on another Wednesday. Time is going by so fast. It's like, hey, Mike, Jimmy. Hey. So welcome everybody as we slowly trickle in. It's, like I said, it's Wednesday. Oh my goodness. So all these all these comments just popped up. I guess my new setup is working really well because it's like I have all my actual cameras and whatnot on a main computer, and I'm watching the chat on a laptop in front of me. So I'm not constantly doing this, although I'll be doing that anyway. And now it's like this laptop runs exactly the way it's supposed to. So everything is loading up properly. So yes, so hello, Mike, Jimmy. Hello, Christy. Hello, James. So yes, here we go. Hello. Hey, James. Oh, and of course, and Nita is here too. So there we go. So hello, everybody. And hello, you 5 people watching right now from regions beyond. So I guess let me get the intro going. It's because there's a lot of work to do today. So hello, everyone. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing since 1992. I've been self-publishing since 1992. And I am known for the funny animal fantasy, my funny animal fantasy adventure Tall Tales right here, which I'm currently putting together volume 4 for Kickstarter coming soon. And I'm known for my medieval fantasy soap opera, EGORAVEN, Heir of the First Unicorn. You can read both my comics online currently at Tall Tales, TAILS online.com, and EgoWorks, EGOWORKS.com. And you can check out all of my videos on how I make my comics on YouTube at Daphne Lage, LAGE art. There we have it. Like I said, if you're joining me from regions beyond, from Facebook, from Twitter, from wherever you are seeing the link to this live stream, come on over to YouTube, join the sexy people in the chat. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so that you get notified whenever I upload a video. And yes, okay, there we go. And join me on YouTube, where that's mostly where everything's happening anyway. So why miss out? Come join the cool kids and and hang out here with us. That's right, my Jimmy. So a little housekeeping before we get started. Speaking of YouTube, you can also catch me and Nita Lanning on the Rage Into network, to which I am also broadcasting this stream to. We have a vlog show every Monday and every Friday, starting and ending your week at 11 a.m., where we talk about everything, nothing, and all the bits in between. But mostly we talk about social media marketing, crowdfunders. We do interviews with other creators, and talk about, just the process of being a creator, being creative, and just, art and writing and all that fun stuff related to, and the not so fun stuff. I mean, we just did an entire episode about packaging. So a very important episode, I might add. So if you missed out Monday's episode, was it Monday's episode? It was one of the previous episodes that we did where we just talked about packaging. So check out all of our previous videos for that. So also, as always, my fan art merch clearance sale is still going on my website at my store. I'm clearing out all of my fan art stickers and postcards and buttons and whatnot, to make way for new merchandise. And a lot of this stuff, actually most of this stuff that I'm clearing out, I will not be reprinting once they're gone. So if you have been waiting for a chance to pick up some of my little odd things and thingamabobs, and who's it's and what's it's, you can, now's the time to do it. Cause, once convention season, like really kicks in, and I start returning to them, these things fly off the table. So this is your last, this is going to be your easiest way to pick these up before they sell out. So also, I want to thank everybody for joining us for House of Bob on the Drawing Night stream. This is a once a month adults only live stream that me and Nita run. And I think I finally got a more permanent schedule for it. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to run House of Bob on the last Saturday of every month. So there we have it. So I don't have to guess anymore as to when's going to be a good time. So the last Saturday of every month, House of Bob Drawing Night stream. So we had a really fun time on the last one. So there will be another one coming up next month. So whatever the last Saturday of May is, that's when we're having another House of Bob. So keep an eye out for that. And again, I want to thank everybody who supported EGORAVEN, Heir of the First Unicorn, issues 1 through 4. And so keep an eye out, because the Volume 1 trade paperback collecting those issues will be launching on Kickstarter on August 22nd. So that's going to be the next EGORAVEN Kickstarter coming up. But before then, of course, we cannot ignore the OG comic, The Tall Tales Thieves Quest Volume 4, launching June 13th, 2023 to 2022. Oh my goodness. So the launch page will be going live soon. So keep an eye out for that. But the campaign itself will be launching on June 13th. So there you have it. So I will announce the launch page when it goes live. But now we have an actual date for Tall Tales Thieves Quest Volume 4. So let me go back up here. And here we are. So pretty much that's what's going on in terms of all that. So thank you so much. So on our last episode, I had started doing those bookmarks, and I thought that you guys would like to see the finished results of that. If you don't follow me on Facebook, if you follow me on Facebook, you would have seen these already. But I just thought you guys would like to see this, where on the last Wednesday, I was coloring in what is going to be, I haven't decided if they're going to be add-ons or they're going to be levels for the trade paperback volume 1. So this is what the finished bookmark is going to look like. So instead of offering, because it's a trade paperback, you can't really do variant covers and sketch covers for a trade paperback. So so what I'm going to do is I'm doing the original art. So if, like I said, if you watched my last stream, there yeah, right, there you go, my Jimmy. Yeah, there's a lot coming. Yeah, so this is an original piece of artwork that's in a bookmark sleeve. And yes, no, absolutely, I needed to put tassels on it. It's not a bookmark without a tassel. So so that's what it's going to look like. So you can get a sketch bookmark, and you can use it to save your spot in the volume 1 trade paperback when that comes out. So this is the one that I was actually working on last week's episode, I guess. So this is the completed set of all 5 of them so far. I will be making more. I want to try to get as many of these in advance as possible, so that it's less stress for me when a campaign, a campaign is stressful enough without me having to worry about this. So here we go. So here's EGORAVEN, here's Rillian, there's Johar, Amadeo, and Daniel. So so these these will be available. I shall be keeping Unicorn Boyfriend for myself. Thank you very much. So these will be available on the campaign. So I thought you'd like to see what they look like finished. And also they have a little sticker in the back. So the clear sticker is on the plastic, not the original artwork. So that's what they're going to look like. So these came out really, really a lot better than I was expecting. That's for sure. Of course, I had to get over the hump. Well, I'm working on it. Yeah, should I do a random Loki and have that floating around? I'll make you all fight for the random Loki bookmark. So I had to get over the hump of cutting it out, because for a split second I was actually thinking of keeping the entire piece for myself and framing it and whatnot. But once you get that first cut through, it's like, okay, it's over. And then I just was able to cut everything out and put together the the bookmarks the way they're supposed to, and they came out really nice. I'm very happy with them. So this might be something I might offer up a little bit more regularly. So we'll see how that goes. So the other thing that I have been doing is catching up on, because look, last week the campaign ended, and it's almost like work stopped and started all at the same time. So the campaign finally ended, and then it's like I had to take that weekend to just not think about it anymore. I had been like running. It felt like I've been running that campaign since January, which is when I launched the launch page. So it was like January and February, and then March was when I launched the campaign. So it's just like 3 months of just oh, hey Joe. Hey Joe. Yeah, so everybody, there'll be enough. You are correct, sir. There's enough EGORAVEN to go around. Yes, and yes, Nita Nita was the first one to get to get a Loki original piece in the wild. So she was the first one to break that ice. So yeah, but there will be enough original artwork to go around. So yeah, so technically it was 3 months of campaigning on that Kickstarter. And yeah, so it's like so yeah, I had to take that entire so from that Wednesday to Sunday, I just had to not think about it. Because it was just like I just needed to I don't know, just like to kind of like get my energy back for the fulfillment phase, because that in and of itself is its own ordeal, I guess. Not really. I mean, so what are the final counts here? So I printed out the I guess like the fulfillment thing or whatever. So I ended up with 173 total backers for issue 4. 96 of them actual physical backers, which that in and of itself is a record for me. Usually on my previous campaigns, actual physical backers ranged around like 50 to 60. If it, it's like around there. But this is the first time I've gotten like this close to 100 physical backers. So yeah, so I'm really happy with that. And yeah, and I figured out a couple, and I've already started sending out for stuff. So I sent out for the stickers, I sent out for the prequel book, so that's already in production. I just now have to, so what happened is that, so JD just finished the Oswald Chronicles campaign this afternoon. Well, this morning. And he made it to 4,300. So congratulations for JD there. That's also a record for him. He has the most backers, and I think it was just $200 short of the most money he's made on individual issues. But you got to figure the money he made, that the 4,500 that he made on individual issues before was for 3 issues, and this campaign was for 2. So I'm not going to try to do the math on that, but it sounds like technically he was more successful on this campaign, so he should give himself a lot more credit for this campaign, even if it fell a tad short of what he had wanted. But yeah, so what we're going to do, what I have to do is I have to put together both our files for our books, and then we'll be sending out all of our books together to get printed, so that we can get them back on the same shipping bill, pretty much. So we save on shipping that way. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. So because I already have the counts for the books for EGORAVEN, so those are ready to go. I had to I had to tweak the files a bit, but nothing major. It was more of like a size issue than anything. So that it's not a big deal. It's nothing is really changing from the proofs that I made. So now I just have to put together JD's books, and then I'll be able to ship everything, to get the files out. And hopefully by Friday, I'll have all the files at the printers so that we can get that process starting. Like I said, the stickers that's already out. The prequel is already out. That's being printed. So now I just have to postcards. I have to get the trading cards out, and also some customized packing stickers that I'm doing as well. But again, it's like I'm combining that order with another order from JD's, because again, it's like it's better to send everything all at once to the same printer, so that we all get it back at the same time for both our campaigns on the same shipping bill. So we're not getting charged separately for shipping to the same address. So that's what's going on right now. So yeah, so we're all ready. we're already in the process of getting stuff done. So like right before I came to the live stream, I was separating bubble wrap, so I was getting that all ready. I'm setting up, I have everything set up on the table already with the add-ons. So I'm ready to rock and roll here. Like I said, I wasn't kidding. It's like the second the campaign ends, everything's moving. So hopefully in about 2 weeks, about 2.5 weeks, we'll have everything back. And then, and then we can start shipping everything out again. So, and then we can start the cycle all over again. But that's how it works, right? That's what we do. Yeah, it's like right, a little twine, a little cottage core look for the boxes. No, it's like no. Although I would like to get, I do have to look into looking at different kind of boxes though. I was watching another video with someone like fulfilling, I don't know what their shop orders or what. It wasn't a Kickstarter, it was just a shop order. And I liked their fold up boxes. That's just the flip lid boxes. And it's like I have to see whether I just want to look into whether those would be nicer to use than the boxes. They're kind of like upgrade our boxes a bit, but I'm not sure if that's really necessary. It's just more of an aesthetic thing, but that's probably just me being frou-frou-ish. So, it's just a thought. It's just a thought. So the other thing that I was doing, I had for those 3 months, for the 3 months that I was working on the campaign, I've been collecting a pile of pencils that, right next to the drawing table. It's like, okay, eventually I have to ink this. Eventually I have to ink this. Eventually I have to ink this. And that weekend where I was like, you know what? I don't want to think about the campaign. I'll start putting everything together on Monday. I started going through that pile and started inking, or at least trying to finish inking some things. So again, if you've been following me on Facebook, you know about these three. So I finally started inking my divine portraits. These are all of EGORAVEN's patron gods. So here is Ishtar, which I finally inked. And learned why hardly anybody inks like that nowadays. It's like this is why George Perez is the OG, because inking like this actually hurt my wrist. I actually had to, right out the gate, I was hurting myself on artwork. So I had to take a breather after I did this piece, because those curls made my wrist angry. So try it at your own risk. So I got that one finally finished. I got EGORAVEN herself in her god armor finished. Really happy the way with that came out. Now here's the thing though, I still like the pencils, so that's why these are the original pencils on the back, because there's always something in the sketch that I don't know, that I just can't seem to capture in inks. So I didn't want to ink over the actual pencils, so it's like I printed out a blue line and inked those instead, so I would have both the pencils and the inks. I did the same thing with all of them. So there we go. So now I have both. So I finally inked EGORAVEN and everybody's favorite. I inked Loki. Finally, Mike Jimmy actually was the first one to try inking this when I posted up the blue line. And I have to admit, though, you made a lot of interesting decisions on the inking that I really liked, but I was not going to try to imitate. I mean, you actually got his you actually got these parts to look like there's actual like little rope and twine in his hair, and I love that. I absolutely love the way they came out. But I wasn't going to try to imitate that because it's like, no, it's like I like to keep my inking a little bit more streamlined. You know? So yeah, and so as much as I loved that those little details you put in, I wasn't going to try to imitate them. So there you go. So I got Loki inked as well, and who knew? So the last one I have to ink is Eros right here. And this, I thought Ishtar was intimidating. That's why I did her first, to kind of force myself through it. But actually, it's this one that I'm kind of dreading to ink, because all this Greek ornament in the background, it's like, I'm like, wait, okay, how precise can I get this, without like completely being mechanical with it. It's like because it's all Greek ornament and it's all straight lines, and it's like, do I try to freehand it, or is it like, do I rule everything out? What do I do here? So this is last, but I will be getting to him just so I can finally have all four of these done. So that was one part of the pile that I'm getting through. Another part of the pile, actually, this one's part of the pile. But the thing is, though, I had put down these inks a while ago. These the base inks. I have to put in the final inks on top of it. This was supposed to be a cover for a re-release of Or So I Thought. That's the prequel to Thieves Quest. It's Gabby's story, pretty much, Gabriel's story. And what was funny was that this piece was actually rejected as a cover. JD said that it was too violent for a cover. But not for nothing though. The reprint was for something else. And and it's like, and we decided to play it a little safe with the cover, because we weren't sure if the audience that we were supposedly making this reprint for was like we were going to do this cover, but in the end it turned out to be fake. The whole deal turned out to be fake, so it doesn't matter. So I'm going to finish this cover, and we're going to use it somewhere. So if you know about the Fellowship campaign, the Fellowship of the Indies, that was the book that this was originally supposed to be the cover for. The version of Or So I Thought was going to be for that deal that turned out to be fake. So so now there's no reason in worrying about whether the cover is too violent or not, because the audience didn't exist. So there we go. But that's a whole other story. That's a whole other story that a lot of you already know. And I'm not running a drama channel. If you want to know what happened, the short and dirty of it, head on over to the Fellowship campaign, Fellowship of the Indies, and on Kickstarter, there's a pinned update on that campaign with links to the video and the story, pretty much. So you can read that there, and you can see the drama there. So, and we can keep the drama there, And last but not least, in my pile, this I actually got to ink over that weekend as well, is another yes, this is another EGORAVEN nude cover that I'm not sure if I'm going to do it as a cover or just do it as a print. I'm not sure. It depends on what I'm feeling like at the time. I just know that this was a piece that I started thinking that I was going to do one of these Victoriana covers for each issue, and kind of decided against it. So I haven't decided what to do with the final piece yet, but I'm currently obviously working on it. So yes, exactly. Yes, it's the return of the Boobicorn. Yes, it is. Which I had to put a little tape on it because we don't want to scare people on the daytime show. But if it was House of Bob, I would have been inking this, regularly without the fanfare. So that was the last piece on my pile, that that I finally was able to get through. So, oh my goodness, let me put these books away. So that's pretty much what's going on. So I just want to, I don't know, kind of like, if you notice my background is looking a little bit janky, and it gets jankier by the show. It's like, if you pay attention, each time there's a live stream, something more disappears in the background. I am now in earnest in the process of getting this office redone. It flooded again, so I had to remove even more stuff from the office. But we think we narrowed it down to what the problem is. So we are in earnest. We are on the schedule to get this wall fixed, and whatever it is that's leaking, it's actually coming from the floor. We thought it was the roof. It's not the roof. It's actually coming from underneath. So we're in the process of finally getting all this, fixed, and I'm really looking forward to getting all my shit back in here. That's for sure. I mean, it's like, I know I've never done like a tour of the office. I have a really, really old office tour on my channel, but yeah, so it's like, probably I'm going to keep this desk set up the way it is, with me facing that way, and this is the back wall, and and then it's like, probably like get some floating shelves so I could put all my toys up there and whatnot. Have like a cabinet here for all my art supplies, a shelf for all the books, so I can finally get to them without having to remove or climb over stuff. Right? It's like, we don't expect professionalism. Well, yeah, I mean, it's like what I say about these live streams. It's like karaoke, right? You don't go to karaoke to hear people who actually know how to sing. Yeah, it's looking very barren. Yes, it's like, because the other computer's gone now, so everything has to be, because eventually, as in about a week or so, I have to move everything away from that wall. So I don't know what's going to happen here, So yeah, so I'm just like, I have a lot of plans, it requires some painting too, probably some acoustic tiles. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but slowly, it's slowly then quickly. That's how that works, right? That this is all. So yes, so this is my janky background, but hopefully in about a month or so, it won't be janky anymore. So we can do that. So yes, yes it is. Yes it is. Actually, what's going to be epic is being able to sleep soundly at night in the middle of a thunderstorm and not have to wake up to another eight gallons of water in my office. That would be really, really nice. That's what happened the other day. It's like, yeah, it's another 8. Imagine spilling 8 gallons of water where you're sitting right now. Not fun at all. So, yeah, so I would like to finally be able to get that out of the way and no longer have that problem. So, but that teaches you, never put anything directly on your floor. Word, I swear to God, word of the wise, never put anything directly on your floor unless it's in something plastic, unless it's in a plastic bin or something that does not leak or take in water, and it's like, do not put it on the floor. Everything, when I get this, when everything is done here, everything's going to be off the floor. Even, every piece of furniture, it's got, like, even the cabinet that I'm looking at for all my art supplies, it has feet like this much off the floor, so that if anything happens, it's not touching anything. So because you never know what happens. It's just you never know. You never know. But really, do not keep anything on the floor. If you have to keep stuff near the floor, make sure it's in a bin, because it's like, between me and although JD has lost a lot of books through a lot of floods, I've lost books too. Mostly, I think most of my books came from a mouse infestation, but that's a different story. That's a different story. You don't want to lose anything to mice infestation either, but definitely for water, keep everything in a bin. There's Nita was showing off these waterproof boxes that she found on Amazon. So I guess the name Elabon or something like that. So it was a lot of them. It was look, it was just one of those things where it was like, for a couple of months, it was like an Australian plague in this house, and then one day it stopped. That, I mean, we don't know what happened there. So we lost a lot of books. Oh, I lost a lot of books like that. JD loses everything to floods. So we have different plagues destroying our collections going on. So on that note, let me show a little bit of love, and then we can finally move on to all this inking that I still have to do. So let's do that, and and I'll be right back with you.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the craze. If you are an independent, catch the craze. Making moves on your own, catch the craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the craze. Join the movement, catch the craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the craze.
Hello, comic book readers and collectors. My name is Randy Zimmerman, and I'm here to introduce you to the Fellowship of the Indies. The Fellowship is a group of creators that came together for a promising business deal that fell through. But don't worry, because what came from the deal were 9 spectacular comics from diverse genres and creators. All 9 books are printed and ready to go, along with metal bookmarks, retailer levels, and even month 2 books, which are being specially made for a short period. Just know that by pledging, you'll be getting 9 great comics, 32 pages a book, for the awesome price of $25 plus shipping. That's over 250 pages of incredible indie comics. So secure your copies today.
So there we go. Fellowship of the Indies. Look it up on Kickstarter. We still have several plenty of days to go, but it would be nice if we could make it to it, about 3,000 on that campaign. Like I said, if you want the ugly story, it's in the updates. It's in the updates on the campaign itself. It's not a main focus of the campaign. We try to keep it as lighthearted as possible, considering the situation. But if you want the ugly story, it's there. So on that note, so let me set up my thing here. And this is what I'm still working on. So when last we left our heroes, so this is still the bonus story for everyone who supported Oswald and EGORAVEN. So I'm obviously still working on it, and I have after this panel, I have 3 more pages to go. Just putting down the base inks on it. And yeah, so after I have all the base inks, the rest of it should go rather quickly, because it's like the other inks is just to enhance everything so far. What I have down on the paper, so it shouldn't take me that much longer to finish. I have this scheduled to I'm looking to have this story complete by the end of the month. So by the time we start fulfilling the campaigns, this book, the PDF, will also be able to go out as well, or it'll go soon after we start fulfilling. So that's what we're still working on. The royal we. It's like when it's really just me. I don't know why I keep doing that, but yeah, because it's like it's just me working on this. Although I do have my flatter on notice that it's like, look, it's like once I get these pages inked, that she's getting them to flat while I'm shading in the files. So let's see. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Nita. So Nita put a link to the fellowship in the chat. Okay. Good night, Jimmy. Good night, Mike, Jimmy. So there's a link to the fellowship in the chat for everybody who wants to check out that campaign. So yeah. So like I said, now that I don't have this laptop choking itself to death trying to process everything. So we're going to try actually running a playlist from Epidemic Sound. Not sponsored, would be nice, but no, I am not sponsored by Epidemic Sound, but we're going to play some music from Epidemic Sound, which I do have a subscription for. So YouTube should not be giving me a hassle over this. Although I can't guarantee Facebook though. So if this disappears from Facebook, it's because they keep flagging Epidemic Sound as copyright infringement when it's not, because I have a subscription to it. But that just goes to show you, if you're watching from Facebook, come on over to YouTube, because when I start playing this, I don't know if Facebook is going to freak out and knock my stream out because it's flagging the music when it's not supposed to. This is all supposed to be whitelisted through my subscription. So but come on over to YouTube anyway. So I'm gonna, let's see. So this let's see. Okay, so I don't want it to be too loud. Let's see. Because obviously I still want you guys, if we're talking, you know, well, yeah, I don't understand why you keep getting copyright notices from Epidemic, because you should have Epidemic Sound whitelisted too on the channel, on the Raging channel. So I don't know what's the deal with that. Yes, HR, the hamster resources says to go ahead and do it. So we shall. Yes. So there we go. I think that's a good. I think that's a good volume. Are we good at the volume? Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I know. It's. Yeah. After a while, you get so many of them. It's like screw it. You know, it's like, as long as it's not a strike, we're good. So okay. So it sounds good on my end. So we're just going to go ahead and continue with our prelim inking here. And yeah, so yeah, so that's pretty much what's going on right now. Take it down just a bit, okay? All right. Okay. Let's see. Let me just make sure that my headphones aren't throwing it off. Let's see. Is that better now? Is that better? Okay. So okay, we're good. Okay, we're good. Okay, good. Okay. All right. Yeah, so there we go. So yeah, there's just so now it's just trying not to let good old-fashioned decision paralysis from overwhelming me and just like, okay, let's put it on the list. We got the list going. I got both my lists. So I have everything that I'm trying to finish in the next, week and a half? Because the thing that I really, really want to start working on next is penciling the layouts to EGORAVEN issue 8. I was going over my schedule again for the year, and I think I figured out a way to be able to run 6 Kickstarters in for next year. So, but the thing is, though, it requires me to get everything as much done as possible in advance so that I can get them approved by Kickstarter in advance. I'm going to be trying this out for the next Tall Tales campaign because I want to launch the pre-launch on May 1st. So that we have all of May to, what did I say? What did I say Tall Tales was coming out? June 13th? June 13th. So we have all of May to grind on that pre-launch page while I'm still getting everything else done. And then just try to keep these campaigns moving. So so for especially 2023, so I have it scheduled to do 6 campaigns. Let's see. So is it okay to ask the question that I mentioned earlier? Oh, so what question is that? Did I miss your question? What question did you ask? So go ahead. Let's talk. You know we're all good about talking here. So Joe, what's the question you wanted to ask? Let's see. So that's so I have to start doing the layouts for issue 8 so I can get that done. So I have all the books ready for next year so I can continue grinding them, trying to grind them out. Look, okay, you figure we did the 11 campaigns in a year. We got that out of our system and realized that it's not sustainable. So I think I can do 6 campaigns. I mean, I should be able to do 6 campaigns, especially if Kickstarter is going to allow me to well, actually, yeah, it's like as long as they allow me to launch the pre-launch when I think that I can, about like as soon as the previous campaign is done, or at least about I think I timed it well. So we'll find out if I can get away with it. I'd like to think that we built enough of a reputation, with our campaigns. Oh, okay. So here's Joe's question. From what I mentioned on the daily accountability, should I start snapping off on those who come to me from this point forward, insisting that I hire an artist to get Amazonia to the next level? Well, you see, okay, so actually, let me turn down the music a little bit more. Okay, so here's the beautiful thing about what we do. I'm so freaking tired of art snob people who promote art over story. And here, like I said, here's the beautiful thing about what we do. One, we're all grown-ass adults, right? And 2, we're self-publishing, which means that we can do whatever the fuck we want, in spite of what people keep insisting on telling us. If you're not interested in hiring an artist to do the artwork for your book, then you don't have to. And nobody, and they can't, and there's nothing they can do about it. I mean, it's the petty answer, but that's the answer. I mean, it's like, people are always going to have opinions about your book. And when I say your book, I'm talking about everybody in general. It's like, it's like, could I get an artist who draws better than me to draw EGORAVEN? Yeah, sure, I could. But that defeats the purpose of me doing the book. I'm not churning out an IP. And last I checked, Joe, you're not churning out an IP either. If that's not something you want to do, then you don't do it. I mean, you can go about it two ways. It's like you could be just outright rude and tell people to mind their own business. That it's like, look, it's not something I'm interested in doing. Thank you. Fuck off. Say, or you could just do the fake placate. Yeah, okay. Like that. It's like, okay, yeah, whatever. And never do it. So it's like that has what you do on your own book has nothing to do with them. If they want to do that if they're doing their own books and they feel that they're better off hiring somebody else to do their own book to take it to the next level, whatever the fuck that is, that's their business. And the thing is though, if they don't like your book, then then they don't have to buy your book either. It's like there's this something that somebody says. It's like, if are they financing, feeding, or fucking you? Then they have no business. They have no right to an opinion on what you do. So yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, if you're not buying my book, yeah, it's like, it's not, I'm not interested, but at the same time, even if they were buying my book, that doesn't give them the right to tell me how to dictate how I do it either. It's like, me and Nita were having this discussion the other day. So we have, it's like we've had people coming to us, like kind of like pitching shows to us, and we're pitching shows too. It's like, oh, we'd like to have this, we'd like to have that, or whatnot, right? And there are people who think that they could just dictate to us what we can have, what we should have on our channel, or what we shouldn't have on our channel. And, we're still growing in terms of that. And, what did I do here? I hate it when my pencils don't make sense. What did I do here? Oh, okay. And it's like, but we kind of have an idea as to what we want. We want to put forward. We have an idea. So we like to keep with the theme. But if you're coming at us with something that wildly doesn't fit what we want on our channel, we're not interested. And it's not about, like, oh, well, what does your audience want? Poll the audience. No, it's like, I'm not going to fucking poll the audience. It's like, we already set up our channel in a way that we want to, with the content that we feel we want to put on it. And people are going to be attracted to that or they're not. And it's not about, oh, you have to give the customer what they want. No, we don't, actually. We don't. Where you're coming into you don't come into my house and then demand burgers when I made lasagna. Okay? You make your comic the way you do. People shouldn't be coming to you saying you should do your comic this way, or you should do your comic that way. You should get a better artist. You should get a better writer, or whatever. You know, you should be doing this. You should be doing that. And it's like, if you don't like my peaches, stop shaking my tree. Right? That's it's a quote that I've seen Dita Von Teese mentioned, but it wasn't her that quotes. She's quoting somebody else when she says it. It's actually a writer that someone had wrote to her complaining about her books, and then she just wrote back, "If you don't like my peaches, stop shaking my tree." So in the end, it's like, no, it's like, all I have to concern myself with is whether I'm putting out the book I want to put out. That's what you should be concerned about too. Are you putting out the book you want to put out? If the answer is yes, then you don't have to do anything. You just have to worry about what you need to do to work on your book the way you want to do it. And it's like, yeah, that's the thing though. There's always going to be people who do that. You know, so tired of "you're not good enough." You know, yeah, and they're always like backhanded comments. You know, it's like, "Oh, you could be further along, or you could be more successful," or yeah, everybody has an opinion on that. You know, and unfortunately, we just have to learn how to, what I like to say, smile and nod politely. You know, and just let them talk, and then, you know, let them move on. You know, if they know how to do a comic, they should be doing a comic. They should be doing it themselves. They should see what it's like, what it takes. Okay, so go ahead. You know, do your own comic, you know, do your own show on your own channel, you know, type of thing. Don't come to us with a show that has nothing to do with what we want, and you know, expect us to go, "Oh my God, thank you." It's like, no, fuck off. No, it's like, I'm not going to thank you for trying to throw shit in my face. It's like, we're telling you that's not what we want. You know, it's like, you're trying to tell me that my work is not what you want. That's not my problem. You know, we got a Jake in the house. We got a Jake in the house. So you know what that means, right? You know what that means. We got a Joe. We got a Jake.
I don't know who it is, but it probably is for Hoga Guys. I asked my friend Joe, I asked my friend Jake. They said it was for Hoga Guys.
Yeah, so there we go. we're now official. Right. You know, it's the whole thing that people go, "Oh, my kid could do that." Yeah, but your kid isn't. "Oh, I could do that." But you're not. You know, so why are you bothering me? You know? So yeah, there's always going to be people who do that. Honestly, the only advice that I could give you with that is like learning to ignore them. That, you know, you have to be the water, be water. You know, again, we're quoting Bruce Lee again, be water. It sucks. Yeah, but in the end though, as long as you're doing the books the way you want, yeah, it's like, they have nothing to say. You know, I mean, it's like, there comes a point where it's like, even if it's constructive criticism, you're going to get to it at your pace. You know, you're not in school. You know, it's like you don't have a teacher breathing down your neck. You know, I mean, it's, yeah, you're going to learn at your pace, you know, and as long as you're practicing, as long as you're moving along, that's, you know, that's what you do. You know, I mean, yeah, it's like, look, people suck, you know, and how I'm at an age now that it's like, where I don't have time to kind of like tolerate that shit, you know. It's like, you know, if you don't like my stuff, that's a you problem. You know, I'm not going to pretend that what you're telling me, you know, like what people come at me for, whatnot, and it's been a while since I've had that, you know, because when people realize you don't give a fuck, they kind of lose the adrenaline to bother you. It's like, oh, you want to tell me I suck? Okay, go stand in line. Who cares? You and who cares? I because I don't. Go find somebody who cares. You know, it's like, you know, if you're so concerned, go do your shit. Go do your own shit. Actually, if you were actually doing your own shit, you would be too busy to bother me. How about that? You know, right? Yeah. I mean, it's like, look, if the books are coming out the way you want them to, you know, that's what you're doing. Also, yeah, that's also something too. If it's like, there comes a point where if you realize that there are people that you're associating with who just seem to be just there to cause you stress, you kind of got to think about why they're there. You know, and whether they're worth, you know, whether they're worth having around, to tell you the truth. I've written off people for less, a lot less, significantly less. I've written off people for, yeah. And you know what? And it's like, I don't have them shaped holes in my life. So I don't, it's like, look, you know what? If you're going to be an anchor, you know, it's, you know, dragging along a coral reef, I don't need you. You know, I mean, it's like, what are you here for? You know, and yeah, and we've had people like that too. You know, I've had people, you know, that they say, oh, I'm your friend. And then it's like, it's the most, they're the most stressful people to hang around. You know, because also at the same time, they wait until I don't have anybody else around me, and then they really come at me. And it's like, oh, you fucking, so not only are you an asshole, but you're a coward too. You know? Because yeah, it's really funny how some people have a lot of fucking shit to say to me when JD's not around. It's really funny, but not in a haha kind of way. And you know, and it just got to a point where it's like, you know what? I'm done with you. You know? So yeah, there just comes a point where you have to make that decision whether these people are worth having around. Because if because in the end, it's like, if that's the only thing they have to answer, if that's the only thing they have to offer, what it really? It's like, dude, can't you talk about something else? It's like, you know what? It's like, how about, yes, it's like, I fucking know, and you know what? And I'm gonna learn at my own pace, and you just have to deal that that's what's happening. So so depending on who they are, I'd recommend writing them off, because there comes a point where being actually supportive means knowing when to shut the fuck up. I mean, it's like, it's like I said, it's like, we all know we have 10 pounds to lose. We all know we have to lose 10 pounds. I don't need somebody up my ass about it all the time. It's like, I know what I need to do. I know what I have to do. I know what I have to improve on. I know what I have to do to improve on that. But it's like, why do you have to keep mentioning it? Why do you have to keep talking about it? Why is it the only thing you can talk about? Because in the end, it's like, there just comes a point where it's like, they kind of get off on that. They kind of get off on on poking you with that needle. So that's not healthy for either of you. So, that's another thing too, where they think that, oh, you'd make more money if you did this or that or the other thing, or it's like, oh, but you'll never just sell it to Netflix that way. It's like, there was an asshole who sold the idea of sharks and tornadoes 5 times. So don't tell me what can sell or not sell, okay? Don't tell me that there's some kind of quality standard that we have to meet. And on the other hand, and then the other thing too is like, yeah, believe it or not, I actually do my work because this is a story I want to tell, not because this is a story I want to sell. It's like, and there's some people who they don't know what to do with that information. It's like, what do you mean you don't want to sell it? What do you mean you don't want a Netflix deal? What do you mean? I mean, it's like, the most obnoxious interview that I was on was somebody who kept hammering that shit. It's like, they kept going on and on and on. What do you mean? What do you mean you don't want to, you're not looking for a Netflix deal? What do you mean? But what if they came to you with this, that, and the thing? It's like, it's like, at this point, it's like, when you start asking me questions like that, you might as well be asking, well, if you won the lotto. It's like, it's just as useless as a question as, but what if Netflix came to you? What if $100 million just fell out of the sky? It's like, that shit. It's like, how about asking me a real question instead of like these stupid fantasy hypotheticals? It's like, and that's also something that I've grown very, very incredibly intolerant of, is these stupid hypothetical questions that is supposed to be like, you know those questions that's like, oh, well, would you do this for this? Would you do X for Y? Would you live in a cabin with no TV for a year for $100 million? It's like, they're so fucking stupid. It's like, I have no patience for that shit. It's like, because they're so useless to ask. Both in terms of asking and answering. It's like they're air fillers. They're dead air fillers. That's what those types of questions are. It's like you just want to hear noise at that point. That's what those questions are. You just want to hear noise. It has nothing to do with the answer. And the whole, well, but what if Netflix came to you? How are you going to sell this to Netflix? And it's like, you know what? How about we just worry about it when it happens? If it happens. If it ever happens. Maybe it never happens. What if they never happens? My life is still the same. So it's like, yeah. So it was like the most obnoxious interview I was on. And because I just couldn't get it through their heads. I'm telling a story. And it's me that has to tell it. It's me that has to draw it. And it's like, it's not about just getting it done. Because if I was concerned about just getting it done, yeah, it'd be easier for me to hire somebody and just get it done. But that's not the point of what I'm doing. It's like, you don't go into independent publishing because it's a sound business idea. Nobody goes into independent publishing because, you know what? It's like, this is the best financial option I can make at this moment. Absolutely not. It's like, we go into self-publishing because we have a story to tell. We have artwork we want to show that only we can do it. And people are going to understand that or they're not. That there's only two types. They either understand that that's what you're doing or they don't. And the people who don't understand are never going to understand. It's the whole, asking why, so why do you climb mountains? Why run a marathon? Why do you do that? Because I can. And you know why the answer is that flippant? Because I can't explain to you what it means. Why do people climb Everest? Because they can. Because there's something they gain from that you will never understand because you're not doing it. I can't explain it. Why am I doing a comic? And why am I doing this comic? Because I have to. But I can't explain why. I have a story to tell. But I can't explain why. Because if you don't understand it, I can't explain it to you. And there comes a point where you're only wasting your breath with people trying to explain it to them. And it's infuriating. I completely understand that. It's infuriating. You hear these same questions over and over and over again. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? You should be doing this. You should be doing that. If there's look, I swear to God, if it was possible to insta block people in real life, it's people who go, you should do this. Anyone who uses the word should, that they should all over. It's like, no, insta block, disappear, banninated, deleted. It's like, no, it's like, who are you? No, what I should be doing is the work that I'm doing right now. That's what I should be doing. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, but honestly though, there really isn't an easy answer for that. Yeah, it's the alpha logic. It's about doing. Right. Why do you climb Everest? It was there. Why do you draw? Because I have a pencil and right, exactly. Exactly. I make the joke, I have nowhere else to go. But the thing is though, is that that's kind of true. I can't imagine myself doing anything else. What am I going to be doing? Working in a copy shop for the rest of my life? I mean, that could happen anyway, but I'm still doing this. This is the part that I still have to do. I mean, I mean, there's a certain, I mean, it's like you can't explain the sense of accomplishment that we get from doing this stuff. And they're not going to understand it. And like I said, if they did understand, they'd be busy. They'd be too busy with their own work to be bothering you. That's really, why are they bothering you? Why aren't they busy with their own shit? So. It's like, look, it's like if they want to hire somebody to do their comic, that's on them. They're fine. Go hire somebody. If it comes to a point that you want to hire somebody to draw because you find that you'd rather write, that's completely on you. I mean, it's like that's your decision to make. But do it because you want to make that decision, not because some rando is telling you have to in order for this to accomplish this. It's like, what the fuck do you know what I want to accomplish? It's like what I want and what you want are two different things, apparently. I want to tell a story. You just want to have a licensing deal. That's not where I'm at right now. If ever, I mean, yeah, it's kind of it's kind of a weird. Yeah, but that's people. Right, yeah. It's like, why you draw dead people? Because I can't. Exactly. Hey, all your people are just talking bones. Why do you draw that? Right, and it's like, and that's the thing too. It's like, because then it's like it never stops, right? It's like, well, yeah. Why are you drawing bones that talk? Why are you drawing giant women? Why are you drawing wrestlers? Why are you drawing, unicorn girls? It's like, why are you drawing a story about a mouse? Why are you doing that? It's like, it's always moves on to the next thing. It's never, because in the end, it's never about, you should be. It's almost like a low-key form of discouragement. It's not that they want you to improve. They want you to stop. That's why they keep bothering you. But it's like they're trying to find like a low-key way of doing it where it doesn't. I didn't tell you to stop. I was just trying to encourage you, and you're the one that took it that way. That's what that's the bullshit they're playing. Right. Yeah. It's like, it's always, why do you write porn instead of romance? You know, why do you write romance instead of an action adventure? Why do you waste your time with action adventure and write a thriller? And say it's always the next thing. Always the next thing. Why do you use too many adverbs? Why do you like adverbs? You shouldn't be using adverbs. That's Stephen King, I think. He wrote that in one of his books. Kill your adverbs. Fuck you. I'm using all the adverbs. Everything that ends in ly, I'm putting in a sentence. You know? So yeah. So take any criticism with a heavy grain of salt. Get what you can out of it, but everything else you kind of have to learn to take it or leave it, you know, and they have to learn that you're going to take it or leave it. Oh, you should do this. You should do that. You know, and it's like, you know, like the one that I would get a lot. You know, there was a thing on Twitter where someone had asked, what's like the most annoying thing you get told as an artist? You know, what's the most annoying thing? And my main thing, you should work for Disney. It's like, bitch, if I could be working for Disney, I'd be there already. It's not that I just learned about what Disney... And you see, this is the thing, too. They always say that. People always tell me that. Oh, you should work for Disney. Like I never knew that was an option. Like Disney, what's that? Oh, they sound like a very interesting company. I never heard of them. You know, they always ask that question like that. You know? And it's like... Which again, it's like, it's filler. It's kind of like, it's something that they say for the sake of saying, you know, and rather than it being something of importance. So, so yeah, it's, I've kind of lost my train of thought as to what I wanted to say with that, but yeah. But yeah, there's always going to be people who are trying to kill your vibe. That's you know, in the end, it's like, that's what that is. It's like, no matter what you do, no matter how you do it, there's always going to be somebody trying to kill your vibe. And yeah, and you have to recognize that and push that to the side. And you have to be confident in what you're doing in order to do that. You know, it's like, step off, I'm doing the hump. You know, it's like that. You know, it's like, just you know, yeah, that's, yeah. So, what is it? There was a saying by the guy who wrote Neuromancer, William Gibson, that before you write yourself off as depressed, I think that's what. Before you write yourself off as depressed, make sure you're just not surrounded by assholes. I think that the quote, I'm obviously paraphrasing, but it's something to that effect. Before you write yourself off as depressed, make sure you are not surrounded by assholes. You know, Let's see. Oh, there we go. Ever since I did daily sketch accountability and announced to 7, I had people come at me. Yeah, and that's what they're trying to do. Because, I mean, look, just the fact that you're at an issue 7, okay? I just finished penciling issue 7. And that makes you ahead of a lot of people self-publishing. You got to remember, like 95% of people in self-publishing never make it past issue 2. And that's me giving them credit. You know, really. You know, if there's a lot of books out there I don't like. You know what I do? I don't buy it. It's that simple. And they don't have to know I'm not buying their shit. Why would they care? Right? So it's like, again, people are coming at you because that's the only way they know how to feel important. Because it's like you should care about their opinion. Like somehow they're that somehow they think they have a value in your life. You know, and they have to be reminded that they know you don't have a value. You only have the value that I give you. You know, that's kind of you know, and you see, and here's the thing too. I've gotten to also a point where it doesn't matter where you are in your artistic journey. It really doesn't. You have to protect who you are and what you're doing and how you're doing it. Because like I said, if it's not you, they're going after somebody else. And it's really funny how in the end, like, skill level doesn't matter. Because like I said, it's like, if they're not coming after you, they're trying to come after me. They're trying to come after somebody else. They're trying to come after, I mean, there are people coming after, there's always people like even Jim Lee. And, you know, we talk about J. Scott Campbell. I mean, it's like, we talk about Rob Liefeld. Imagine spending your entire career in comics, the laughing stock of comics, while you're making millions at it. I mean, it's like, how does that happen, right? It's like, who's turning around and telling Rob Liefeld, oh, if you drew better, you could be making more millions? I mean, it's like, how do you even explain that? You know, like the logic stops working at that point. He's already making millions off of his artwork as it is. But at the same time, he's the laughing stock of comics. So it's like, you know, I saw Rob Lee. I mean, it's like there was, he started, I remember I caught something on one of his, on his Twitter feed, where he was literally blocking everybody who prefaced their tweets with, I don't like your work, but I'm not a fan of your work, but. It's like, no, there is no but. And he would just block them just for saying that. And it's like, yeah, it's like, you know what? Why the fuck do you have to say that? Why do you have to preface that? It's like, no, you don't get to, like, you know, pretend. And it's like, no, you either enjoy everything that I do or you fuck off. You don't get to, like, pick and choose which aspects, you get to enjoy while telling me to my face, well, I'm not a fan of your stuff, but what? It's like, this is a package deal, my man. It's like, you know, so yeah, so Rob Liefeld was pretty much blocking everybody who did that shit to him. It's like, look, he spent the entire 90s and 2000s and what, like I said, being the laughing stock of comics, but they still made him a millionaire for it. Yeah, like that's how ridiculous it gets. But also, yeah, it's like that. But that's my point. That it never stops. Once they already, you know, it's like it never stops. It's always, they just move on to the next thing. Oh, well, now you just have to draw boobs correctly. Now you just have to like stop making everybody. Now you have to stop the pocket shit. It's like, no, it always, it's a constant hammer. It's a constant hammer. Because like I said, they're not they really don't want to see you improve. You'll improve when it clicks, it will click. You know, you will improve when you improve. You know, as long as you're hammering at your craft, it will eventually click. Look, it took me this long for a lot of things to click. You know, I mean, it's like the last 2 years, 2.5 years was just one thing, light bulb after another. Just finally, decades of work just finally coming. See, I'm a very slow learner. I'm slow and I'm stubborn. Very, you know, so it took a while for a lot of things to click. But you know what? It didn't click because I had people constantly up my ass about it. That had nothing to do with the what I feel are drastic improvements that I made in the last 2.5 years. It was not because I had people up my ass. It was because it's like just something snapped in me and I had to make all this work. And I had to do it no matter what. Talk to you later, Nita. See you tomorrow. Not Monday. No, tomorrow's Thursday, Friday. But maybe I'll talk to you tomorrow. Most likely. So I'll talk to you later. Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, I was the same way. I was art shy a lot too because people had shit to say. Everything, like, it's the reason why I never got into sketchbooks. Because every time I was outside, fucking randos in the street had shit to say. If I sat in a museum and was sketching, people had shit to say. It's like, I'm not fucking talking to you. I'm sitting here minding my own business. Why the fuck are you bothering me? So I had that, so I stopped doing it. You know? I mean, you know, but this last 2.5 years, it just like, no, I have to do something. Like I said, I'm filling up sketchbooks for the first time. I've never filled up sketchbooks. You know, I have 2 sketchbooks. Now, I filled up one. I have 2 more sketchbooks I'm in the process of filling up. You know, it's just something, hammer, 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 hammer. And then there's all these pages that I'm working on. You know? I mean, it's like, that's the thing. It's like hammer. That's all it is. You got to hammer, hammer, hammer. You know what you need to improve on. You know, so like I said, it'll click when it clicks. You know, but yeah, it's like, unfortunately, the people who have all the things to say, unfortunately they're just a reality we have to deal with, you know. And you know, like for me, like I said, for me, I'm at a point where it's like anybody says something, I'm like, all right, whatever. Oh, I'm sorry. Was I supposed to care? Because I don't. But you know, hey, I'm acknowledging the noise that's coming out of the hole in your face. That's all you're getting. You know, that's pretty much it. You want, okay? Oh, I suck. All right, fine. Then I know you won't be buying my stuff. So fuck off. You know, go find somebody else. I mean, I'm just at that point. You know, well, I don't know if that would be a good thing to do here. I am in New York after all. The cops here are a little different. So, you know, so yeah, that's really the thing. And I think that's part of the reason why, like I said, I haven't had people bothering me because I don't care. I don't, it's like, oh, okay. All right. Okay. You know, that's all right. Okay. That's it. That's all you're getting from me. It's like, I'm sorry. You know, am I supposed to take you seriously somehow? You know, because like I said, here's the thing. The people who have time to do that shit are people who aren't doing anything. So why should I listen to them? Yeah, like I said, the cops here are a little different, you know. So yeah, I mean, I know that's probably not the answer you were looking for, Joe. I mean, because it requires a bit of intestinal fortitude. I mean, and the thing is though, and it does kind of require eating a lot of shit, you know. But at the same time, it's like, you know, because I guess it's like kind of ignoring these people comes off as you're just tolerating them. And but you see, but here's the thing though, they get the message, you know. They eventually get the message that you're not interested in what they have to say. Short of you just outright saying, it's like, you know what, I really don't care what your opinion is about my work. So you can kind of cut it out now because I'm not listening anyway. It's like, you know what, why don't you go to your mirror and, you know, and do it there? Because I'm not interested in hearing it. I mean, short of actually saying that. You see, I'm wildly passive aggressive, so I go for the okay, sure, whatever. You know, I go for that. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's like, look, like I said, I've already said I have 173 people prove to me that they like my stuff. That's what, 3-4 classrooms, depending if you're in a more urban environment with more crowded, with overcrowding. That's what, like, yeah, that's like 3 classrooms full of people, you know. 100. I don't even personally know 173 people. But I have 173 people saying with their dollars, I want to read your story. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, but it's learned behavior though. I mean, there just comes a point. Yeah, it's like it does. It's supposed, and that's the thing. That's the point. It's supposed to grind on you. That's their entire intention, is to grind on you. Because like I said, they're not really interested in seeing you improve because it doesn't stop. They just move on to the next thing. You know, like I said, you have to decide whether these people are worth having in your life or talking about it. Or it's like, you know, if it is somebody that you hang out with regularly and they start talking about that, it's like, look, bro, I'm not interested. Let's talk about something else. You know, I mean, it's either that, or like I said, you kind of have to eat the shit sandwich until they get the hint that it's like you're gonna do you know, you're going to do what you're going to do, and there's nothing they can do about it. Might be an age thing. I don't know. Because like I said, it's like I've really been at this point for a bit, you know. You see, because here's the funny thing. If you did sell your concept, I mean, it's like if Netflix came to you and says, we want to do a show based on Amazonia, those same people who are up your ass would be the last people to congratulate you for it. You see, that's the whole irony of it. If something like that were to come out of your effort, these same people claiming that they were up your ass to help you improve and whatnot so you could sell your, oh, well, if you did this, they would be, you wouldn't hear from them. They would be the last people to congratulate you on your success. They would be the last people, because in the end, that's not what they wanted to see. They never want to see you succeed. They never want to see you improve. Because in the end, that's not the point. They just want to keep reminding themselves that they can, they just want to prove to themselves that they could drag you down. That's what people like that do. Because trust, when you have an actual success based on your work, you're not going to see them. All of a sudden, they have nothing to say to you. Trust. So yeah, you have to decide whether these people are worth the trouble having around. So yeah. You know, you think J. Scott Campbell gives a shit about everybody who goofs on his artwork? You think he gives a shit? You think he sits around crying about somebody doing another parody of his shit, another correction on his artwork? No, he's too busy stuffing his ears with $100 bills. You know, the dude gets 20 grand a cover for the most big. Look, this is my show, so I can say this. definitely not a fan of his work. But it's like, but there's, I don't, do you think he cares that I'm saying that? Do you think he gives a shit? You know? And at the same time, I'm not going out of my way to find his artwork to goof on it. I got better shit to do. Artists who have time to do that shit are not busy. They're not busy artists. You know? People who are actually busy and doing shit don't have time for bullshit. So I'm just going to finish up. So I'm almost done with this this panel here, which will pretty much be finished the page. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish up here. And then we'll yeah. You know. Well, right, yeah, that's exactly. I mean, he's getting paid. Rob Liefeld's getting paid. You know, it's like, you know, it's like the secret of legacy is that it's made by others. You just got to keep pouring gasoline. I mean, you know, that's right. Exactly. And that's exactly. And maybe that's what it is too. It's like, not only because they're not busy, you have to be busy. You know, so it's you know, it's like, I'm always busy. I got my lists, you know, it's like I got shit to do. And it's like, and honestly, it's like I don't have time for trifling people. I really don't. You know, it's like, I don't make time for those people. So I think that you have to decide whether these people are worth your time. Because, you know, yeah, it depends on who they are. Let's see. Read up. Let's see. Mark is in the house somewhere. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay, I'm curious about your inking your own work. Do you find it redundant to put so much detail into your pencils, or do you find the inking portion as just the easy part? Funny you should mention that. I started penciling a lot tighter in these past 2.5 years, so that the inking does become like more rote. So all my thinking goes into the pencils. That's where I'm figuring out where all the lines are. And then once I'm inking, then it's kind of like mindless, because technically I'm just tracing. So, and what I found, because before I used to do the opposite, I used to do loose pencils and then put all the details in the inks. Now it's the opposite. And what I found, that as a process, it works a lot better for me. The pencils is where I struggle with the most. So that's where I make sure to put most of my effort in, so that I get it right in the pencils, so that when I go to ink, it's not that big of a deal. I'm not thinking. I'm just tracing over my lines. And then until I finish the page. So yeah. I mean, what makes it redundant is that because I put so much detail into the pencils, they feel like finished pages to me. Like they're done. But they're not. They're just pencils. And they're not tight enough for me to kind of like do a Jim Lee and scan them in and just darken them, and then, oh, poof, there we go. We don't have to ink it. So that's where it becomes redundant, where I have to go back to the pencils and re-ink them and see them all over again. But um, but uh, but yeah, no. It's yeah, but yeah, for me now, inking is just kind of like the mindless part. And I much prefer it that way. Because like I I have a harder time penciling and streaming now at the same time, but I can ink and pencil at the same time. I mean, but I can ink and stream at the same time. Um, because I don't have to concentrate as much. Um, yeah, I can go off on a rant and still ink and not feel like I'm missing anything. So inking is not tracing. Well, you know what? For what I feel like most of the time, for me, that's what it does. It's I try to make it as efficient as possible for me. Um, so which is the whole thing with the pencils, so that it does feel like tracing. So I don't have to focus so hard on it. Although it does depend on the piece. Like I said, the divine portraits really threw me for a loop. These were very stressful to ink. But that's why also I didn't ink the pencils, because I didn't want to ruin them. So so these were stressful for me to ink. And even then, like there's certain things that I would change on them, but you know, I kind of take the Dave Sim approach, fix it on the next piece. You know, it's like the mistakes that I feel that I've made will probably be less noticeable once I color them in. So you know, that's, you know, so yeah, so it depends on what I'm inking. The pages, they're not as stressful enough. These were stressful. This one that I have to ink, this is going to be super. This background that I made here, so this ornament thing, it's still kind of like, sheesh, what am I gonna do, how am I gonna do this? You know, so but you know, I have to bite the bullet and I have to like start inking him in, and then, you know, I'll figure it out as I go along. So you know, so yeah, it depends. But yeah, but for this, it not so much, not so stressful so much. So you know, so okay, so we're just hitting the 2 hours. So this is, okay, so I got a little bit more on this panel here. Oh, thank you, Jake, for pointing out the question. Yes, thank you. Yeah. So, and also it's like what makes the inking like redundant for me as well is that technically I have to go over these lines 2 more times with my other pens in order to okay. Good night, Jake. Thank you for being here. Good night. So like I have to go over them with these pens. It doesn't take as long because it's kind of like less inking I have to do, but I'm still looking at the pages over again when I really want these done. But that's the process, right? That's the process. Okay, so let me just Okay, so I'm happy that my setup was working correctly. We didn't have any hiccups. We didn't have any lags, as far as I could tell. Was able to play music in the background, and nothing freaked out on me. So that's so good. So that's very nice, very nice. Probably on the next live stream, I'm gonna have to test out the OBS connection to see if that I can go back to doing that. It's like I still have to test that out using using OBS and trying to do some different things. So we'll save that for next time. So okay, so there we go. So we've reached the end of another stream. Actually got some work done. Got some, got some stuff out of my system, I guess, showed up some artwork. So thank you, so thank you everybody for joining me today. You could have been anywhere else, but instead you decided to spend your 2 hours with me. Thank you everybody in the chat. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Jake. Thanks, Nita, and everybody else in the chat. You all know who you are. Thank you, Mike Torres. Mark, Jesus Christ. It's sorry. It's like see, it's end of the show. Mark Torres, Jesus, from it came from the radio. For his question. So thank you everybody in the chat. Thank you everybody watching. I see you. I see that little number up there that that I don't know where that number refers to, but thank you for watching. So on that note, if you want to learn more about me and my artwork, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com. Yes, you are Mike today. You are Mike. You see, Mike Jimmy went to bed, so we needed another Mike in the Mike and Jake, because they're in Jake is in Norway and Mike is in the Netherlands. So you are the unofficial Mike for the today. Sorry, Mark. So like I said, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWRKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites. But I mostly post to Facebook if you're into seeing sketches and current work in progress and all that cool stuff. The finished stuff of whatever I do on the stream usually ends up on Facebook. And also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can get notified whenever I upload another video or do another stream. I will be joining Nita again on the Raging 2 Network on Friday at 11 a.m. So you can join us there on Friday. And speaking of all the mics, not Mark, Mike, Mike Jimmy, and Marvy. I will be joining them on Saturday on their show, Sketchy Saturday, on the Raging 2 Network at 10 a.m. Eastern. So so there we go. So Mike, there is an actual Mike Jimmy, but we're not. But Mark Torres is in the chat right now. So you can check out that show on Saturday at 10 a.m. So you can read the first 5 issues of EGORAVEN, Heir of the First Unicorn, in its original black and white format at my website. Or if you prefer your fantasy to be more Lord of the Rings action adventure, you can follow the links to Tall Tales, TAILSonline.com, and read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free. And don't forget to sign up for my monthly newsletter, because I have hella campaigns coming up, hella projects coming up, and I know you want to be notified when all of them happen. So make sure you sign up so that you get free comics. You get free PDFs of comics, of Tall Tales, of the Oswald Chronicles, of EGORAVEN, just for signing up. You get all these PDFs for free. It's like, you can't go wrong. So thank you again for joining me. So, like I said, check out the upcoming shows Friday and Saturday and Monday again. And we'll do this again next week, Wednesdays, 4 to 6 again, where hopefully I will keep all my mics and marks in a row. So, so thank you again for joining me. And and I'll still see you on the next live stream. Now, as I make my awkward turn to do the final, whatever it is that I'm doing here. So, so see you then. Ciao. Hi, everyone. Daphne Lage here. Join Nita Lanning and me on the Rage Into the Vlogs show, where we talk about everything, nothing, and all the bits in between. Looking for hour-long conversations about indie comics, social media marketing, and crowdfunding, with the occasional rant and story time? Head on over to the Rage Into channel on YouTube, Mondays through Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern to join in the chat.
Hit the button.
Discharged into space, changing the life of one hapless duck and transforming him into a hero called One